I don't even know what year this truck is. Anyhow, doesn't really matter.
Okay, yeah, fuck it then.
It's a Shackle. It's early 2000. Hi everybody, it's Scott, Simcoe Spring Service here. Today I'm working on a early 2000 Chevy 1500 pickup truck. The customer had a broken shackle on the one side, and on the other side he has a shackle with a hole right through it. So what I wanted to show you today was not only kind of how we do it and take it apart and stuff like that, but I also wanted to show you how difficult it can be in a real world scenario. Like, these are extraordinarily difficult to take out. I have a lot of tricks that I use to try to make my job easier, but I think out of everything, they're probably one of the hardest things to do. So we're gonna start and we're gonna show you how do we try to take it apart, and we're gonna go from there. So first things first, we have to take the nuts off. We have to get them loose so that when we try to spin the bolt or work with the bolt or anything like that, then the nut's not gonna keep it tight. So we're basically just gonna have to try to loosen everything off. And I can't fit my air gun in here because there's no room. So I'm gonna see if I can break it off with my bare hands here. So now that I got this loose, I'm actually going to try to remove that nut with this air ratchet. It only runs up to about 55 foot-pounds of torque, so it's not very strong, but it might be able to just rattle it free. All right, that worked fairly decent. I was quite impressed. We'll loosen this one off now. Just got to get the brake free. Oh wow!
Surprise.
Yeah, it actually moved. And once again, we'll take it and loosen that off. So the actual whole bolt moved. That like never happens. So I'm only gonna have one really horrible bolt to take out instead of two. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna try to get this one free, and then this bolt can't come out here because well, you don't have any room. So what we're gonna have to do is remove this bolt, and then we're going to let the vehicle down, and then that'll allow this to pass up to here, and hopefully we can get the bolt out over the frame. Most of the time it works, so we'll try that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get all the weight off of it, so that the only thing that's holding that bolt in is the actual rust itself, rather than the weight of the vehicle and the rust. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to try to hit it a few times with the actually we'll do it a different way. This is a cheater way that we use. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to spin the nut on, we're going to cut the bolt off, and then we're going to spin the nut until it's halfway off, and then I should be able to get an air chisel right into the end of the nut. With this sticking out, it'll slip off, and you're more than likely to drive the air chisel right into your hand or something. So I'll actually do a little cheater trick for you guys. Alright, so I'm going to take the torch and I'm actually just going to trim this off so that that's gone and out of my way, and then I can spin the nut half off and I can get the air chisel in there. You're probably like, well, why didn't you just cut it off and then put the nut on? Well, with all the slag and stuff on the end, when I take this off, it actually breaks all that slag off and allows it to come out. So if you look into the end there should be just enough for the air chisel bit to sit inside of there and not slip off. Because if you're holding it like this and it slips off, you can lose a chunk of skin. So I have a special little bit that I made that's super short. I also have a special air chisel that I buy. It has a 1-inch stroke in it. So it more vibrates than actually has like punching power. But what that'll do is it'll vibrate the rust inside of here and hopefully make this bolt come loose. If not, we're gonna have to do a few heating cycles on it just to warm it up enough to get the rust to start breaking up. So I'll give it a quick rattle and see if it moves. If it moves, we're having a good day. And if it doesn't move, then we'll have to try some more tricks. Okay, so it doesn't look like that's going to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat the head of the bolt up red hot, and hopefully I'll probably do 2 heat cycles. So I'll heat it and then I'll let it soak in, and then I'll heat it again and let it soak in, and hopefully that'll get it warm enough so I can actually get it apart. You want to come around here? So you can see where I heated it up, and then we're going to let that heat go in, and it'll turn from a bright red to like a black color, and then once it turns black, then you can do another heat cycle on it. Alright, so we'll let that cool off the black. You actually have to be patient, let the heat draw down into the bolt. And once the heat gets to about here, it should be enough to allow that bolt to start vibrating loose, or at least the rust start to break up. Alright, we're going to try it once more. See what happens. I'm gonna do one more heat on it. It's just starting to move a little bit, but I want some heat. So that's why you don't want to heat it up all in one shot. You want to do cycles because I'm already starting to heat up everything around it. You got to be really careful with that or you can blow a hole right through it. I'm going to be looking right in here. It's hard to see, but I'm looking for a dark rust to come out. You'll see a lot of the yellow rust coming off, and that'll just be coming off from like all the material around it and stuff like that. But I'm looking for a dark brown rust to pour out of this crack, because then I know that the rust is breaking up and falling out. This is one of the reasons why I suggest that you have a professional install these, because if you get a bolt this tough in your driveway, you're gonna be having a bad day. All right, one more try. All right, it's starting to move. I can hear the noise change pitch. Okay, so. Somehow I gotta get this apart. So one of the downsides of using this trick is sometimes your bit gets stuck in the nut. Well, this is fine. Like, I mean, look how much we had to air chisel on that, and you know, my hands are fine. I was able to keep it on target, and with that much work, it still came apart. So I'm gonna go and cut this off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I was able to save my bit. I just cut the nut off. So what we're gonna do now that we have it moving, the first thing people think is like, oh, let's drive it out now. But the problem is the middle of the bolt is actually smaller than the threads. And so what you're doing is you're trying to drive the threads, which are bigger, through a smaller hole. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna walk it back and forth a bunch of times. And what that'll do is it'll break up a lot of that rust. But because it's a Chevy, and their infinite wisdom, the bolt will hit this. So once we get it loose and free, we're actually going to drive it out, cut it off, drive it out, cut it off, drive it out, cut it off. And then that way we can get it out and go from there. So I'm going to walk that bolt back and forth a bunch of times and see if I can get it to break completely free, and then that way we can get it out properly. We're hitting on the back end. We don't want to damage the hanger, so yeah, see, it's moved up a little bit. So just to be safe, I'm just gonna cut the shackle in half. I don't want to have any issues. I don't want to damage the hanger. We're trying to save this whole bracket here. We just want to remove the shackle, and it's twisting. I don't know if it's from weight or age or rust or what the issue is. So I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut the shackle in half, and then I'm gonna cut this in half, and then we'll be able to get the bit in the end, because I can't right now because it's hitting. So let's do that. Now I can get that lined up. So now I can get that lined up there, and I will cut the bolt off now, and we'll go from there. There you go, their last little piece. So now I can dig that broken piece of shackle out of there. There you go. So now this piece up top here, if you want to come around. So this piece up here, this bolt's pretty much loose. So what we'll do is we'll let her down. Well, it looks like I gotta go back to my trusty air chisel. Get it up under the head. Pull the bolt out. And pull the rest of the shackle off. See how clean that bolt was? It's almost like brand new, so. All right, hey everybody. So now we're back and we're going to start putting the new shackle in. And so what I've done is I've actually never seized all the bolts all up and got them all gooped up. So I like to use just a regular silver grade anti-seize. I find it works fantastic. Even stuff 20, 30 years later still comes apart. So. But yeah, so I'll start showing you how we put this back in. So now you have to make sure that the shackle goes in the correct way. This is the correct way, this is the wrong way. So you gotta make sure that when you take it apart, you put it back together the exact same way. So, all right. So, I can't get the bolt in here, so I gotta reach around the frame and fish it in from up top. So you gotta get the vehicle right at the right height so you can get it in there. And it will fit. I need Mr. Wiggles. Where is he? Put him over here. So here's my die grinder. It's got an extra long bit in there so I can fit all the way through here. And it vibrates a lot, so it gets all that garbage out of there. So now it should fit right. Perfect. There we go. There we go. That fits in there good. I'm going to jack up the vehicle. So I'm going to pry it into place. Who said it was easy? Get the nut on the back side here. Oh. Okay, so now we're going to tighten the vehicle. We have to tighten all these bolts. The most important thing that you can do is to let the complete weight of the entire vehicle down. If you don't, then these bolts will be loaded up and the bushings will be all loaded up in a jacked up position. So you can see how much it moves. It's so important to make sure that you're in this position when you tighten everything, because then this is your neutral position. Alright, so now that's let down, I can tighten it up. And then the bottom bolt, we'll tighten it up too. And there you go. That's Shackle installed on a Chevy half-ton pickup truck from, well, this would be around from 2000 to 2007. And that's it. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you want to see any other suspension work done on trucks, trailers, or transports, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe.